Hey everyone. In about maybe 3 or 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, in about a month, I'm actually going to be doing my first um, presentation or my first conversation with. I'm sorry. I'm just like I'm such a hair person. Like I'm just looking at this wig I made, and I'm kind of critiquing it while I'm talking to you. But I'm going to stop, okay? Because it's distracting. Anyway, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be giving my first presentation at a school. And it came about because a teacher had asked me about, if I enjoyed my year and how's everything going and what I'm going to be doing next year. And I said, next year, I think I want to go into speaking and, you know, motivational speaking or inspiring speaking or some kind of speaking to just share my stories and my talents and ideas and gifts with other people on a massive scale. Therefore, I'm going to be doing a lot more talking just so I can get this out of my system and say what I have to say within the next 4 weeks so that when it's time for me to speak on stage, that it will flow and, the thoughts will flow because I don't know about you, but I've had such a challenge in finding the correct word or the appropriate word to use or that word that's sitting on your tongue and you're just like, dang, what is that word? I could see it. You can literally see the word, but you can't say it. Like you just like, what darn? I do that so often, and it's very frustrating, especially when you are someone like who have to speak. I don't care what job you have to speak to people, whether you are on your job or off your job or have children or have a spouse or have someone you interact with and you talk with or dealing with children as a teacher or a boss or a supervisor or anything, you will find yourself in a position where you have to speak. Therefore, I am using this medium today to do as much speaking for the next few weeks as I can, just so I can make sure on that day I do not fumble for my words and I don't get thrown off and say and foolish things and look stupid and sound stupid. Okay? What, you guys are with me? All right. So on that note, I was sharing with my kids today about what their passion was, and I told them, I said, so I asked them, I said, Kennedy, guys, I want you to tell me what your passion is. What is the one thing that you would do more than anything else? Like you would just die doing, and you didn't care. That was it. And they hesitated, and I think that my middle son said, well, not literally die doing, but you know what? I would die doing music. That's it. That's it for me. I love music. I don't care if anything. I don't care. I'd be sitting on a corner, poor, penniless, broke. Because in my mind, I'm not going to be there for too long. Someone is going to see me, and they're going to see the talent. So that's how I feel about that. So any skill you have, even if you feel like you would do it for nothing, someone would see the gift and the talent in you and take it to another level. That's what I know, that's what I believe, and that's how the universe and the world works. That's how God works. That's how the spiritual realm works. So I asked them what would they do more than anything else, and they would do for nothing. My oldest one said, I told you before, it's two of them in one. Something, like he wasn't even clear. At the end of it, what he said, I didn't even know what it was what he wanted to do. And he finally said, I'm not sure yet. And it broke my heart. It really broke my heart because to say you're not sure yet and you're in high school, that's scary. I don't know if I should go into more. Anyway, I asked my middle son. My middle son said, technology, computers. And I know that. I've seen that in him. My other kids, I have not seen it. But that middle one, yes, he got me with that one. Because he is interested in technology. And I've seen it, and I've arranged to put him in a school that's going to support what he does, nurture that, give him some guidance, which I didn't have. And my little one, he said, basketball. And I'm like, basketball? I never knew you liked basketball. So I doubt that is your passion. Because if that was, and he got upset. It was my passion. If that was your passion, I would have known this since you were like 5'3", 2 years old. I would have known this. It's the first time I've ever heard you say basketball. And you're 10. That's not a passion. I said, maybe you sleep with, I've seen the basketball in your bed, but I'm thinking you're using it as a pillow or some kind of support to prop you up. I don't know at night what you're doing with the pillow. I mean, with the basketball. So he was upset. And, I said, basketball may be something you enjoy. You love it. You enjoy it. And there he goes. You enjoy it. However, I don't think it's a passion. So I said, I'm a little nervous about that because if you don't have a passion, if you don't know what your passion is, or what your passion is, you're going to be like the thousands of other people out here, or the millions of other people out here who are just moving around, just moving around and just not in no direction. Not having any direction. You're a postal worker, you're a police officer, you're a dental assistant, you work in Target, you are, you're a manager of Burger King. These people don't have, not these people, you don't have a vision, not a vision, you don't have a passion for something and the faith to go after it. Okay? So I'm nervous for them. I'm nervous because that means that my children might be one of those people walking around trying to figure out what they want to do. However, I am creating and building an empire for them so they can come and work for me. That's the goal. So I had to stop and say to them, it breaks my heart because I'm really nervous. And first they got upset because I said, really? You don't know? And they were like ready to just have a huge discussion on it and be upset because I said they really don't know what they want to do. And when I broke it down to them, my middle son said, you were a police officer, meaning if my passion was music, why was I a police officer? So I said to him, good point. I'm glad you brought that up. I said, I want you to say life happens. Say life happens. I always tell everyone, say life happens. Life happened to me. I was a little girl. I became an adult. I was a teenager, and I was late teens, early 20s. In that space there, when life happened, I was on my way to an audition. And I was headed to this audition. It was about 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm walking, and there was my ex-boyfriend who followed me for about 10, 11 blocks to the train station. Followed me. I didn't know. And what I did, discovered he was following me, I turned around and I noticed, I saw his reflection in the glass because I was checking myself. As you know, when you walk, you look in the reflection. And I saw him, and it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, what are you doing here? And here we are. We were fighting. He started fighting, trying to take me somewhere else. And I was like, no, I was resisting. And he was saying, come with me. And I was like resisting. And we began to fight. And he tried to, throw me over this huge gate into the train station. Because, if you go over this trestle, you can go into the tracks. So he was trying to throw me over, and I'm holding on to clinging onto the gate, and then he dropped me, and then we were fighting. He was punching, and I was fighting and fighting. And this is happening all at 6 o'clock in the morning. And thank God it happened in a place where it was right next to the train station, the subway, where people were coming in. And you could see this huge commotion going on. And I'm fighting for my life. And suddenly he pulls out this knife, and I'm like, oh Lord, I know he's not going to do anything with that. I know he's not going to try to hurt me with that knife. Maybe, 2 seconds before you know it, he took the knife and he stabbed me in my stomach. And I said, oh shit. In my head, I'm like, this is not happening. I'm still fighting. Eventually, I fell to the ground, and he was standing over me. And this man, I remember to this day, with a Bible in his hand, passing him, walking close to us and saying, Jesus loves you, Jesus loves you, Jesus loves you, Jesus loves you. So, as I'm sharing this to my children this morning and telling them life happened to me, And when I survived that incident and I recovered from that, it changed the course of my life. I knew that I wanted to help women going through the same thing that I was going through. And that's why I joined the police department. I knew that I had to protect other women going through this same thing. When I had the opportunity, I should say, arise that I could join a police department. And guess what? I had two choices, FBI or NYPD. And prior to that, I think I'd been dealing with a lot of stuff like that. And this was something, even the police department knows about this story. So it's not like it's a story that no one knows. But yes, I joined NYPD. However, when I joined NYPD, the police department, my dream kept pulling at me. It was pulling at me. It wasn't pushing me. It was pulling. When something pushes you, you got to work. You're working at it. You're just trying to keep your energy to work at this dream. But when it pulls at you, it never lets you sleep. It never allows you to sleep. You wake up, you eat, sleep, dream, music. And even though I was a cop, I was still eating and dreaming and music. That was it for me. So to answer his question, how did I end up becoming a police officer if my passion was, or if my dream was to sing? I became a police officer. Hence, as a police officer, I had no connections, I had no hookups, but I did have a gift. I had a talent. I had something that I know that the police department could use. And just like what I told him, you play basketball, figure out how you can get your basketball to play. Your basketball playing can work for you as a police officer, right? Think about that. That's like unheard of. Like, really? Like, that's what I did. Singing and music and police, But sure enough, I became known as a singing police officer. Everyone knew who Ruby Collins was. Not only did everyone know who Ruby Collins was, but I went to the White House. I sang at the White House representing the police officers and was on all the television shows, talk shows and radio and newspaper and daily news. It was an amazing experience because I had this dream, this talent, this passion to, it just didn't leave me. I really said all of that to talk about another story, and I don't know how I got into all of this, but I just want to say this, that I want to share with everyone. When you have a dream, when you have a passion for something, it never releases you. It is connected to your spirit, your soul, your bosom, every vein in your body breathes that experience, that passion. For me, that's what it was. And hence, that's what I spend my life doing right now. I spend my life as an artist, as a teacher, music, providing music and music resources and music from the age of 0 to 99 to 100 years old. And I love it. Every day I love living. Every day I love life. I thank God for the gift, for showing me what my passion was and being able to pursue it. So with my children, I try to share with them, if you don't know what your passion is, I'm so afraid that you're going to be wandering life aimlessly, not knowing what you want to do. And once you get into that zone, you have the relationship aspect of it. You may have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a girlfriend who cheats on you, a wife who does something that upsets you. You got to deal with that. You can have a boss who talks to you like a child, disrespects you, a job that's not paying you enough. Life happens. Life happens, people. So if you are not anchored in something that gives you peace, happiness, and that if I die today, I am happy, I did everything I wanted to do. If I die today, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm taking care of my health. I want to live forever, but hey, I love life. I've lived, and I have a lot more living to do. All right, well, I think this video is just really reinforcing the fact that even I want to also have something for those who don't know what they want to do. If there's something if you don't know what you want to do, find something that brings you just a little bit of joy, a little bit of happiness that can get you through the difficult times of life. And that's what's most important. Because we're all not given that gift of knowing and knowing what it is that we want in our life. But if we have that little thing that brings us a little bit of peace, Try and find peace in all aspects of your life, whatever that is. Okay? Love you all. This is Ruby Collins. Love you all. Please check out the rest of my videos. Like this video. Subscribe to my channel. This channel really is just about a mom, myself, raising 3 boys with an ex-husband and a friend and life and family and music and performances and a little bit of everything. I guess it's just like my life, right? It's just about my life.